Okay. The organizational structure, the part 1 and part 2 is all about, remember or not, what we learned in organizational structure?
Okay.
What we learned?
Uh,
Organizational structure. The hierarchy, remember the structure. How many types of structure we have learned in organizational structure?
I.
How many types? No.
Okay.
Types, the types.
Four.
Yes, good. Four. What are the types?
Four.
Just just list down any two of the types. Any two of the types.
Flat.
Hmm?
Tall. And flat.
Flat,
Tall.
flat. Ha. Tall, flat. Hey, where's teacher?
You know. Left already.
Okay, tall, flat, and then
And then
two more structure. But remember, there are four structure. Okay, and then do you still remember that we have learned how to draw the tall structure, flat structure, how it looks like? Correct?
yeah.
Correct or not? Okay. I think better I start the lesson now because I'm worried that I want to finish 906 or 907 by before our midterm examination. So we just continue, proceed because I'm recording the call. Let them watch and do the worksheet, okay?
Okay.
So we just start the communication. This one is the lesson 2. Since the lesson 1 we have learned the, remember or not, the mm, uh, tall structures and then the characteristics and the chain of command, everything we have learned all about the organizational structure. Now is about the communication with business. Okay, this is the lesson 2. For this topic, what we will learn is only about the communication within the business. Okay, for example, we will learn what is communication, what is the importance of communication. Do you know what does mean by the communication?
Teacher.
Hmm?
Jingyu join already.
Jinu joined already. Okay. Good morning, Jinu. Okay. Do you know what does mean by communication? Hello. What does mean by communication? Communication means is it's like one person to another person. How we going to interact with each other? How we going to transfer the message to each other? Understand or not? We call it as communication. Peshwan, Jinu, can you hear me?
Can.
And okay, so for this topic, we will learn about the importance of communication, about the internal and external communication, formal and informal communication, and then what are the barriers to communication. So we go one by one. So for today, in the topic communication with business, I want to teach about the importance of the communication and then the communication process, the flow of the communication. So these two things is very important for your midterm. So please focus. Okay, what is effective communication? Actually, communication, everybody have to know what does mean by the communication. Communication is what actually? Usually, okay, communication occurs when a message is transferred from one person to another who understands the content of the message. Means, okay, usually communication means how two persons or one person to another person interact each other. Understand or not? how they
Understand.
transfer their message, how they pass their message to one person. That's why teacher said effective communication usually happen when we successfully, like Jinyu, you transfer your message to another person. For example, you want to transfer the message to Peshwan. Make sure Peshwan understand what is the content of your message. Understand or not? So we call it as effective communication. Means the communication is successful lah. Understand or not? Understand or not? Yes. Means
Understand.
yes, any other messages that one person transfer to another person, make sure the person who are listening is understand the content of the message. Got it? So we call it as a sender and a receiver. Later on, I'll explain what is sender and receiver in the communication process. Of course, we all communicating with each other every day in our life, correct? So we communicate with our families, we communicate in school, colleges, we are communicate when we go for shopping, and we are chatting with our friends, correct? Communication with others is a natural part of a life. This is communication. Don't tell me what is communication. Hope you all know what is communication. Communication is what you are doing in your daily life. You're talking to each other, you're talking to your parents, you're talking to your sisters, and everybody, chit chat with your friends. In school, you're talking. When we are talking in our life, means communication is happening every day in our daily life, correct? Did any of the day you never talk to anybody? Class, is any of the day you never talk to anybody?
No.
Yeah, so communication must be effective. So means the information being sent is received, understand, and acted upon in the way intended. Means, okay, let's say Jinyu passed the information to the patient. So make sure patient receive the message, and then she has to understand what is the content of the message passed by Jinyu, and then she has to react on the message that she give. Let's say she pass one information. She said, okay, page 1, today teacher Melissa is absent. She said all the worksheets are on her table, so we have to take the worksheet from her table and have to do finish in 1 hour. So once page 1 receive the message, make sure she has to understand what is the content, what is the main point of the message. She has to understand, and then she has to immediately respond to the message. So what she has to do, so she immediately has to go to teacher Melissa's table. She has to take the paper and do finish in 1 hour and then put it back. So if these things all are happen, if you pass the information, they receive, and then they understand, and then they respond toward it, so it means your communication is effective. Understand or not? Understand or not? Yes. So this is just an example. Don't go to school and take the paper from teacher Melissa's paper. Just an example only. Okay, so if it isn't, it can be annoying for us when we communicate with our friends. Okay, let's say if these things all never happen, means you never receive the information properly, you never understand what your friend is talking, you cannot react on it also. So it means it will be very annoying for you, all right, when you're having a communication with your friends, correct? No any message, nothing to understand, and then you also don't know what to react to her message, correct? So it also will be annoying for us sometimes when we're communicating with our friends, correct? Correct or not?
Correct.
Yes.
Especially especially in business. When we are doing business, okay, in a daily life communication, communicating with our friends, family members, all are a part. That all are happening every day in our daily life, correct? Okay. Once, okay, in our daily life, let's say the messages you pass into your friends or anything, if it didn't receive in good, if you didn't receive the good message, if you didn't understand, or if you don't know how to react on the message, means of course it will be annoying you when you communicate with your friends. So it's nothing in affected, correct? But in the business, if the communication which is not effective or any failure communication happens in our business, of course we have to face some serious consequences, or else your business might fail because of the communication is not effective in our business. Understand or not? In business is very important. No communication, we cannot pass any of the information within the organization. So the communication also failure, the business also failure. Understand?
Understand.
Okay, this one is only the basic concept of the business. Okay, sorry, this one is the concept of communication, concept of the effective communication, and then I gave you the examples how if the communication is effective. You receive, you understand, and then you have to act, you have to respond immediately toward it. Understand? So this one is all about the communication. Now we have to learn about the importance of the communication. Why communication is very important in business. Importance of communication in business. In business, the topic is actually communication with business. So you have to remember that we are now have to learn communication in business. Communication in business is, you know, the company, big all the companies lah, no matter our school also is an organization, right? So no communication, nothing will be happen. Okay, the importance of communication in business. Why communication is very important in business? Why? Exchanging information, of course. Okay, for example, okay, now you have to do an imagination that you are in one organization, in one company, you're working there, so you just assume that you are in the organization. Okay, why communication in that organization is very important? Now we have to see one by one what are the importance we can learn. So, exchanging information. Exchanging information means, I hope you all understand what does mean by information. That one is information mean, you know, maklumat. Exchanging mean how you going to change the information. Let's say Jingyu, Peishwan, Damien and Jaying, everybody working in a one workplace. So you all want to exchange the, no problem Damien. Okay, so how you going to exchange the information? How you going to change the information? Change the information means how, okay, the information Peshwan got and the information Jinu got, how you going to exchange? Means Peshwan have to tell information that she got to the Jinu, and then Jinu has to convert the information that she got to the Peshwan. This is how you going to exchange the information. Understand or not? Understand?
Understand.
Yes, and then one more thing, why communication is important in business. Why? Because we have to prepare the plans and policies. Yes, each and every organization should have the plans and policies. They will have their own plan. They will have their policies. If we never communicate to each other, how we going to prepare the plan for our company? How we going to prepare the policies of our company? So communication is must in the business. No communication, we can't even exchange the information, we can't even prepare any plan. Okay, any plan mean what we going to plan, correct? Of course, all the businesses we have the plan and we have our own policies to follow. So we have no any effective communication within the business, we can't even prepare any plans and policies. And then achieving goals, how we going to achieve our objective, how we going to achieve our targets, how we going to achieve our objective if we have no communication in business. So communication is actually playing a major role in business. No communication, we can't even achieve our goals, correct or not?
Correct.
Hello. Hello. Respond lah. You all can understand or not?
Can.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. And then increasing employees' efficiency. Efficiency mean we said kecekapan. Employees' efficiency. Okay. These things all is the importance. No communication, these things all will be failure. Okay. If we have communication in business, it will increase our employee efficiency. Okay, and then solving the problem. We never talk to each other how we're going to solve our problem. No matter is within our friends and families also. Same goes to the business and companies and all the organization that we are working for. Any workplace, not we if we cannot I'm sorry, if we didn't talk to each other, we didn't talk to anybody, if we have no any communications, how we going to solve the problems? Not only your personal problems, all the workplace problems also, how we going to solve? So that's why communication is very important in business. And then publicity of goods and services. Okay, let's say our company, we are producing some goods and services for our customers, and then no communication, how are we going to communicate to our customers about our goods and services, correct? How are we going to advertise our goods and services? The publicity of goods and services happen if we communicate to our customers, correct? Correct or not?
Yes.
Okay, then removing controversy. Controversy is something like is a misunderstanding happen, right? Like normally in organization, miscommunication will happen, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if we have communication with each other, of course we can solve the miscommunication. Am I right? Am I right? No communication, nothing will be happen. Nothing can be solved if we have no any communication within each other. Correct? If let's say one employee to another employee, they having misunderstanding, miscommunication, so they have to communicate to remove. Understand or not?
Understand.
Understand. Okay, enhancing employee satisfaction. What does mean by enhancing employee satisfaction? Means we have to improve employees satisfaction. How? Means okay, how? Okay, let's say employee, we have the top level management, we have the low level management also. If we give chances to the employee to talk, of course they also can share their own ideas, correct? It will be satisfy the employees also, correct or not? Not only the top level management people taking decision in the business, also the low level management, the normal employees, all can share their ideas. Understand or not?
Understand.
And then enhancing loyalty also can improve our loyalty in our company. So what does mean by enhancing loyalty? How? Enhancing loyalty is the uh, in our company. How? Hello. Of course, the customers, because we are talking to the customers also, right? Correct. This
Ah,
our communication will improve the loyalty of the customers towards our business also. Understand or not? These are the importance of communication in business, which means why the communication are very important in business. Understand?
understand.
Okay, the second thing that we need to know is about the communication process. Okay, and then communication process is very, very important, and you have to remember each and every role in communication process. Okay, communication process usually any ideas from the sender, how he going to transfer or transmits the message throughout the channel. We have the channel in between the sender and also the receiver. Okay, this communication process, okay, let me show. This is the example of communication process. Process of communication is very, very important. Please remember each and every single thing in this process. Can you all see my communication process or not?
Can.
Yes, these things are very important. Okay, now we have the sender. Do you know what does mean by the sender? Sender was sent the message. The sender, the message, how he going to pass the message. So in between sender sending the message, encoding will happen. Encoding mean how he going to talk. Can you see he is talking? And then the channel medium, this is the intermediaries that we use. And then the receiver, how the receiver receive the message, we call it as decoding. So encoding means he is passed the message, decoding means he is taking the message. Understand or not? So in between this sender and receiver, we will have the noise here. So if the question asks you all to draw the communication process in examination class, can you all hear me? Class, can you all hear me? Can I?
Can.
Okay, so if let's say in the exam the question asks you all to draw the communication process, this is the process. Okay, see, in simple term you can draw. I didn't ask you all to draw this human being all lah. Very simple, you can draw like this. Sender encoding the message, receiver take back decoding the message. So of course from the sender, when we going to pass the information, noise will happen. After receiver receive the information, of course he will give the feedback to the sender. Correct or not? This is the communication process, but each and every single point means each and every single thing have their main role. What is that? Okay, so We have sender, we have message, we have encoding, we have the media, channel, receiver, decoding, feedback, noise, and everything. Correct? Okay, we will see one by one what is their role. Okay, from the process of communication, the first thing teacher said, we have the sender. Correct? Let's say in your exam, okay, let's say teacher said please draw a communication process and also explain the roles of the communication process. Means you just not only draw this process, you also have to explain one and each and every single thing. Sender, what is that sender? What is mean by encoding, message, decoding, and receiver? Okay, now we're going to see one by one. Once you can follow my, means you can read the, you just read this slide so that you can understand. Sender means is the communicator who generates the message and imparts it to accepted. Sender is the first source of the process in communication. Means sender is the first person, is the first source of process in communication, correct? Whenever we start the communication process, sender is the first person, sender is the first person who generate the message. Okay, this is very important thing. Sender, you have to understand who is the sender in process of communication. Understand? Then second thing, message. What is message? Message means any information you receive or any view, any topic or any ideas, anything, feelings or sensitivity or that you receive from the message you receive from who? Class, these messages or the information, the view, the topics, all you receive from who? Produced by who?
Teacher.
Hmm. No, produced by who? The first thing, who's that?
Sender.
Very good. Is all produced by the sender. We call it as message. Message means any information, any topics that discussed or produced or transferred by the sender. We call it as message. Understand or not? Sender is the first person. Yes, sender is the first source of communication process. The sender is the first person who generates or who transfer the message, correct? And then second thing, you have to explain what is message also. Message, you can explain that message is the information, view, topics or any ideas that is produced by the sender, that is transferred by the sender or generates by the sender. Any words that make me understand and got it or not? As long as you explain what is sender, as long as you know how to explain what is message in your own words, also accepted. But don't just simply write anything. You explain what is message in your own words, it's okay. And then what does mean by encoding? Teacher said after the sender you pass the message, means before message to sender we have the encoding, right? Encoding means how the sender encoded the message. Okay, okay, number 3 is the encoding. After generating message by the, I'm so sorry, message by the sender is encoded representative like as in the form of pictures, gestures, words, and earlier it is in being 2. Okay, means encoding means how, okay, let's say you already generated the message, how the message is encoded to you. Maybe they can show in terms of the picture or any words, how they going to pass, how the information is come to the receiver. Understand or not? Maybe it's in the form of the picture, gestures, or any words. You want to do mind map also can. How the receiver receive your message. Okay, let's say here, can you all see the sender? Teacher already explained sender is the first source in the communication process, and then it passed the message. Message means like any information, ideas, or topics that sender bring or sender generates. Sender transfer also can. And then encoding means how you going to pass pass the information to this person. Maybe is in the term of pictures. It can be in pictures, any words. Understand or not? As long as this person A and person B, as long as this person, the person B, understood what you are, what the A transfer. Understand or not, class? Jiaying, oh my god, after
Understand.
45 minutes only you join the class. Okay. And then number 4 is the media or channel. Okay, media or channel means we have the channel medium. Means what is the intermediaries? What is the middle thing you use to convey your message? Okay, what teacher wrote here is the middle part of the communication process. Basically, the message may be conveyed in writing. For example, you can inform the message through internet, via telephone, via email. You can post the letter or you can fax the letter. Anything, it can be anything. So that's why media is intermediaries when we pass the message, when we convey the message to the receiver. Understand or not? We call it as media or channel. This is, we use this media to convey our message. Maybe you can pass your information via internet, anything, whatever you want to use. Maybe you can pass the information in telephone, maybe it's email, maybe you can post the letter, or maybe you can fax any letter. How you going to pass the information? Understand or not? Mean which media you going to use to pass the information. Understand? It's all about the communication. Understand? Understand?
Just
Okay.
decoding.
Hmm?
Decoding.
Decoding I haven't started yet. First, understand the sender first. Understand the message. Encoding, understand, right? How you going to pass information? Maybe you can show in form of picture, anything. And then media means what you want to use. Maybe you can use the internet, telephone, and everything. What media or what channel you want to use. This is about receiver and decoding. I will explain one by one. Okay, receiver means is the person who receive the information from the sender, correct? Still remember or not, the person B in the picture? The person B is the receiver. How the person B is, means not how, is the person B who received the message from A. Understand? So that's why I wrote here is the opposite party of communication. Is the person who received the information from the sender. Understand? Okay, receiver means usually, okay, good. Receiver means usually, okay, after the sender writing the message. Why my message is like this? Okay, receiver means after the sender transfer the message by encoding or by via any channel, finally it will come to the receiver, right? And then Receiver, how the receiver receives the message, and then how the receiver going to act, how the receiver going to respond to the message that the receiver received from the sender. Understand? Okay, usually this process of communication will be successful when the receiver receives the message. I also don't know why my message I wrongly put massage here. Not massage, all is a message. Okay, so this is the process of communication. It's very simple. The sender, those who are transfer the information and everything, and then the message is the information topics or any ideas, and then the encoding means how he going to transfer the message. Maybe he can draw, show some pictures or anything, words, or else what medium he wants to use. Maybe he can chat via internet, email, letter, and everything. And the receiver means is the opposite party of the communication, how the receiver going to receive the message from the sender, and then how he going to act to the message, how he going to respond towards it, and then the purpose of the communication will be success if the receiver successfully receive the message from the sender. Understand or not? Understand or not? Okay, very
Understand.
good. And then decoding means, okay, just now teacher said encoding means he will show some picture, he can show any words to, like any sign that you want to use to pass the information. Teacher said is encoding, right? Okay, let's say Jinu want to pass the information to Peishuan. She wants to show any pictures, she wants to show any words, she wants to show any sign to make sure patient understand what she wants to tell. We call it as encoding. Decoding is totally opposite for that. Means how patient going to adapt, how patient going to understand the symbol which is shown by the GNU. Understand or not? Like encoding means you giving, decoding means you receiving. Understand? Class, understand or not?
Yes.
Understand.
Yes, encoding means how GNU going to give the information to the patient, like she wants to show any symbols, anything, whatever, it can be anything, symbols or any kind of pictures or any words she wants to show, or any symbol, sign or anything, until patient understand what GNU want to give, what GNU want to send the message, what the message. So decoding means how GNU going to understand, how GNU going to take the symbol, the process of adapting the symbol until patient understand what GNU wants to tell. So we call it as decoding. Decoding is the process of adapting the symbols encoded by the sender. So decoding, okay. Receiver is the opposite of the sender. Sender give, receiver take. Decoding is opposite to the encoding. Encoding, you giving the symbol, sign and everything. Decoding, taking everything. Understand? It's all are the opposites parties. And then feedback and noise is the center, correct? Noise at the down, at the below, feedback on the top. Noise is happen when the sender send the information to the receiver. Feedback is after the receiver receive the information, what is the feedback they want to give. Okay, feedback means when the receiver confirms to the sender message that he has received and understood it carefully. Actually the communication process is completely done. Okay, let's say Jinyu sent the message to the patient, she sending everything, she used internet, and then she shows some symbols and she encoding the symbol, and then patient also decode the symbol, she received the information. If patient react on it, if patient give feedback to the sender, means your communication process is successfully completely done. We call it communication process is completely done. Means if you try to give your feedback, means patient is really understand what is the message given by Genie. Correct or not? Correct or not?
Correct.
Yes, when patient started to talk, started to respond, started to give feedback on the message that she received from the GNU, that means she already received the message, she understands the message, so that's why she reacted to the message. That's why she's giving feedback. Okay, once GNU said no, you have to come to school during this pandemic, so she understand the message, and then patient immediately respond, why I need to come to the school, because I have to cross the street, so I cannot come to school, blah 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 blah. Means patient understand the message given by the genie. Correct or not? So that's why she received the message, she understand, and then she react on it. Understand or not? Understand?
Understand.
Okay, very good. And then the last one is the noise. Noise means it will happen anywhere, also can be happen. Yet at your house also happen, in your school also happen, in between your friends also happen, or main thing is in business also it might happen. Okay, let's say for an example, noise means any like interfering, what is like disrupting your message. Noise, something will happen, any this noise usually will disconnected your message, you know. What are the information that you want to pass to your sender, this noise will disrupt it. For example, okay, we can say it's example the bad telephone connection. Let's say Ginny want to pass the information to the patient. She used the medium or channel which is telephone. She wants to use the telephone to pass the information. Let's say because of the bad connection of her telephone, so of course the communication will disruptive. Correct? We call it as noise. And then your internet connection, when you want to pass the information through internet, so when the internet connection is very poor, we call it as noise also. Noise means is any type of disruption that interferes with the interpretation of information from the message. Understand or not? Understand or not, class?
Understand.
Noise means like any other thing. Noise means is the example of thing which is make your communication failure, you know. Let's say you want to use the telephone, the bad connection happens, so you cannot pass the information, we call it as noise. So you want to use the internet, but the internet connection is very poor, you cannot pass the information, we call it as noise. Understand or not? And then Jinyu, she wants to use the encoding. Okay, she wants to explain her, she wants to share her information through pictures or anything, but but unfortunately the pictures that she shows is like wrong really, means it's a faulty encoding. Means until patient don't even understand what Ginny wants to try to tell, means we call it as noise. Something which is destructive your information, we call it as noise. Understand? Understand?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. So today we have learned what is communication, why the communication process are very important, and then the important thing is communication process. What is sender, what is message, what is encoding, what is decoding, what is receiver, what is feedback, and what is noise. Understand or not? In your exam, let's say if teacher asks you all to draw the communication, please use this diagram to draw, and then make sure you have to know where the arrow goes and comes. Understand? And then you have to explain each and single role of this communication process. Sender is who, message is who, encoding is what, media or channel is what, receiver is what, decoding, feedback, noise, so far, so on. Understand or not? You don't have to draw until this person A and person B. Don't have to do that. You just draw the simple communication process is enough. Understand or not?
Understood.
Understand or not, class?
Understand.
Understand, So I'm going to stop sharing now. The video will be uploaded in a while because I have class at 10:30. I have one-to-one with my student. So after that, I will upload the worksheets in Edmodo together with this video. So those who join late to my class, you can watch the video from the beginning and then do the uh, worksheets that I have uploaded in Edmodo. Okay, can we end the call now? We can continue